we are summiting Mount Whitney tomorrow. In the car we have Zach Shevska, who is turned into a good friend of mine. Zach is the founder of Car Edge. So if you know all of his Car Edge videos, you're going to see him suffer tomorrow, which will be a really unique perspective on this guy. And now you got Nick Boatman. He's riding the saddle right now. Nick is a lifelong friend from Lakewood, Ohio. Nick is an incredible endurance athlete. He's also fire EMT. And then Ryan Gearman, my best friend from growing up. Ryan and I probably met when we were 4 years old. He beat me in the 40-yard dash back in we were 6 years old, 7 years old.
Second grade, baby.
Yeah.
Best grade.
And so he's an Eagle Scout. All of us have some sort of endurance background, which is super fun. And we should be at Mount Whitney here, about 90 miles. Now, for those who don't know what Mount Whitney is the tallest mountain in the lower 48. It's about 14,800 feet tall. We're going to be scaling roughly 6,800 or so feet of elevation gain tomorrow. It's 22 miles out and back. So the way it works, we're staying in Lone Pine, California. We're going to drive 10 or so miles to Whitney Portal, or basically where the start of the trailhead is. And then we've got 23 miles round trip. It doesn't seem like a lot, but what's interesting is that you're starting really at 8,000 feet and going up from there. So here's my spread. So Camelback, this is the same Camelback that I wore for the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim. This has 3 liters of water in it. This is what I'm going to be wearing on me tomorrow. So with the Hoka Speed Goat, I think that these are Speed Goat 4s or 6s, I forget. With the Sisu hat, a little bit of sweat stain on that guy. So this is what's going to be on me, what I'm wearing. In terms of food and nutrition, Element is my go-to for the stick packs, and then I've got just a lot of carbohydrates, so Uncrustables, candy. I'm not bringing both of these, but I'm definitely going to choose one of these and drink probably half the can just for some caffeine in the morning, and then the remainder will be consumed probably after when we're driving back to Las Vegas. Sunscreen, Go Gels, Cliff Bars, and I was using this the last few days, Mountain Up Solitude. Really like this. It's actually fantastic for elevation acclimation. So being able to obviously stave off altitude sickness. Trekking poles are going to be a must. I'm not sure I'm going to need the beanie anymore. We got crampons, which are huge. So these guys hook onto your shoes, and that way you're able to navigate snow and ice terrain. So that'll be good. Headphones, got the charger, and then my Osmo that I'm documenting this on. So that's what we got. It's gonna be fun. Right now it's about 9 o'clock at night, and we're gonna be waking up at 2:30 a.m. and then around 2, we're gonna leave by 2:30, and then hopefully start by 3. It's gonna be fun. Caffeine drink of champs. I'm drinking half of this prior. Permit ready. We are packed. The guys are doing their final deposits, and it is beautiful out right now. All right, so we're just a little bit past 3 a.m. and we're gonna get going here in a second. You guys are doing their last little bathroom breaks, and then we're gonna go on up. The big thing, the goal of this is obviously get to the top in one piece and back down and enjoy it. However, it would be really awesome to be able to do this in 12 to 14 hours. So we're just gonna go ahead we got trekking poles ready to go, and we're just gonna continue to go as fast and as sustainable as we can going up the top, and we'll see how we do. We're 1 mile in, about a 25-minute per mile pace. We're just on an uphill. So far so good. We've had a couple stream crossings. Zach's legs look really good from here. Gearman, I know, is really excited for his Pop-Tart later. and Boatman is our pace horse, so we're just gonna keep trekking along. So I'd say one thing right off the rip to just keep in mind when you're doing this one, or if you plan on doing this one, is the air's really dry. I don't mind it, but if you're somebody that needs to get accustomed to higher altitude, dry environment, make sure you stay hydrated. Dry environments, especially dry air, it's kind of sneaky how you could choose not to hydrate, but really you do need electrolytes and water during these drier climates while you're hiking. So that's one. Two, trekking poles are a necessity if you're doing any sort of elevation. I've done so many different hikes without trekking poles, and then this year with Grand Canyon, rim to rim, doing all the hiking there with the trekking poles, and now this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a hack. So those are the two things: stay hydrated, even if it's dry out, and make sure that you have your trekking poles. So it's sunrise now. We're about 2.5 hours in, so 5:30 a.m. We've climbed about 2,600 feet, not square feet. And this is epic, just so beautiful. So beautiful.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Dang, this is sick.
January next year.
So right now we are above the final trail camp and 6.65 miles in. I'm believing that we're about 4 and some change from the top, so should be there in about 3-ish hours. This is so beautiful. And it is definitely starting to get cold too. You can feel the mountain air and the wind coming off the snow that's up here. So one foot in front of the other. We're definitely in those 100 switchbacks or whatever right now. Ooh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, under 2 miles.
You guys want to go ahead.
Yeah, you guys should go ahead.
Prefer to be chilling.
We're just having a ball over it. So we're right around that 1.7 miles left to the top. We're around 13 or so thousand feet. We've got about 1,500 or so feet of elevation gain left. And right now it's been so much fun. I feel like the morale once we got to the backside of the mountain picked up, and Ryan was doing a really, really good job of being able to do bite-sized chunks while he was battling some altitude sickness. So he's fought through it, and you can tell he's acclimating. And what's so fun, it's just like the beautiful thing of people learning how to compartmentalize. It's something that I still struggle with. When you have like a 20-mile stretch, a 10-mile stretch of something, and all you're thinking about is completing that 15 to 20-mile stretch, rather than breaking it down to like 2-mile, 3-mile increments, or even mile increments, it makes a humongous difference. So like what we're doing right now with the gang is we're moving, basically until we feel comfortable, and we're moving probably like 0.2 miles, and then we'll stop, and then 0.2 miles, and then we'll stop, and just make sure like the whole gang is good to go. So right now I feel really good. Altitude wise, I actually feel way better than I thought I was going to feel right now. I haven't gone through a lot of water, which I'm not concerned about right now just because of how cold it is, and I haven't been able to sweat much, but a lot of calories have been able to get down the chute. So this view right now from where I'm videoing this is incredible too. Look at this. We're in Sequoia National Park here.
So fucking cool.
Dude, what?
Shit.
Oh man. I mean, this is unreal right now. Look at this. Just the jaggedness. And then that mountain back there is Mount Whitney. Just incredible. Like, this is literally what heaven looks like. Unbelievable. So there it is, up there. We came all the way from down there. Let's see if I can zoom in. Way down there. Crazy. It's so beautiful.
The amount of times each of us has yawned in the last half mile.
It's when no
You
oxygen.
know there's no oxygen.
Yeah. We made it to the top in about 8-ish hours, about 7 hours, 58 minutes, and the view is incredible. The altitude definitely got to us. Having not acclimated, or having any time for acclimation made a challenge, but I think everybody did a great job. So Bowman's enjoying a beer, Gearman's enjoying a beer, Zach
Trying to bum a cigarette.
just asked somebody if he would like a cigarette. So beautiful, man. Look at this. How's that beer?
Low-key terrible, but I need it.
How's your beer? What do you have, an IPA?
Yeah.
A nice form IPA?
Yeah.
Was it?
Hey, what's up, Dad?
Oh, man.
Hey, space-time and his dad.
That was a really gratifying summit. Done some really good climbs before, but Mount Whitney definitely makes you earn it. There's a lot of switchbacks. There's like 90 or so switchbacks before you get to this backside of the mountain, and then you still have about 2,000 feet of elevation gain from there. But it was just really special getting up there with these guys. Everybody has headaches right now, but now that we're going down, everybody got their second wind. I ran out of water at the top. Zach Shefska is the guy that has all the water now. He has bottles on him. Gearman has a little bit of water, and Boatman ran out of water about 2 miles from the top. So we probably should have stopped to grab some water at a more recent stream, but you know, we're doing pretty good right now. So, but this is just so fun going back down. And if you're looking to do this hike, I would recommend, if you were to do it the right way, that you acclimate at least 1 day or 2 days at elevation before going to attempt the summit in 1 day. And you also need to be in like really good shape. I think that being in really good VO2 max shape, so endurance shape, is key, but you have to be willing to dial in your nutrition and understand like how much carbohydrate and electrolyte and water you need to take to be able to sustain the altitude if you're not used to it, like me. So it's been a few days since we went up Mount Whitney, and there's a lot of really great memories, a lot of good takeaways from it. And the first thing is, one of the things that we missed out on the opportunity with was interviewing each of the guys right after. When we finished up, it was around 6 o'clock, and all the guys were super hungry, so we went right to a taco truck, cash only taco truck, and we grabbed a bunch of tacos and immediately got on the road back to Vegas. It took us about 3.5 hours, and as soon as we got in the car, everybody was out. So literally sleeping for the next 3 hours. I sang some country music as we were going, blasting some tunes on the radio, and when we got back to Vegas, it was around like 11:30 at night, and we just didn't have that right mindset and timing to be able to get a great interview. So number one, I wish that we could have had some interviews for you, but I'll give you my takeaways and some of the collective thoughts from the group of guys that went and did Mount Whitney. So number one, altitude is what crushed everybody. We were about 3 miles from the top when one of the guys started getting some pretty bad altitude sickness, some pretty gnarly nausea. He did a really good job of holding back, vomiting, but I think right around that moment is when we all decided to just rally around that guy and just like really lean in on like, let's just get him to the top. And as we were doing so, a lot of us were starting to run out of water. So one of the main mistakes that we also did was we didn't fill up at that last mountain water runoff where we had these filters and pumps to be able to pump the water back into our camelbacks. Each of us had a 3-liter pack like you saw in this video, but we all ran out of the water basically nearing the top or right at the top. And because the miles were really slow, you're talking hours without water and electrolyte at altitude when you have altitude sickness, so it made for a pretty gnarly just sensation. So when we got to the top, come back down, that's when it started to really hit me. On the way up, I felt really good. If anything, I felt like I was kind of high going up. And then on the way down, that's when I got hit bad with a headache. Probably the worst headache I've ever had in my life. And all the guys were experiencing it. And I would say that there was this moment when we were on the backside of the mountain and we got to the front side was when we got this kind of boost of momentum. But the way that the morning shook out, it really, to me, it felt faster going up and slower going down, even though it was the opposite. It ended up being faster on the way down than up. I think because we were all just pretty exhausted from the altitude, and all of the downhill ended up being daylight versus in the morning we had half of the climb during those early morning hours where it's super dark out with the headlamp on, and then you were distracted by just kind of your own 2 feet taking each and every step. And once you got halfway up, that's when the sun came out. And I think that in your mind when you're doing these long bouts, especially climbing a mountain, don't underestimate how long it really takes to go these places, which means that you need to make sure you have the hydration, you have the nutrition, and if you're with a group of guys, that everybody stays together. It's really easy for one guy to just lean way ahead and just kind of trailblaze, but in my opinion, it's much better to hang together with a great group of guys and make sure everybody does it safely and makes it memorable versus one guy trying to go for a fast and known time. So we made it the point to stay together the entire time, work through the altitude sickness, and if we were to do another one of these, which obviously we will, we need to make sure that we're stopping to refill the bladders as much as we possibly can. So those are the main 2 takeaways. But for anybody that's planning on doing this, just know that Mount Whitney, it requires a lottery, and you have to get in on that lottery. I believe when I entered, it was February 1, and then I just put out for basically the entire summer that I was available to accept a permit. And so I was able to request up to, I forget how many permits, but I requested 4 and got all 4. And then they randomly chose July 2nd as the day to summit Mount Whitney. So having 3-4 months of just wide open calendar for them to choose from allowed me to be able to get it. And so I don't recommend you choosing a specific date and only a specific date, because there's a high likelihood you wouldn't get it. So just give them the freedom to be able to correctly select your day by you having more flexibility in your schedule. Lastly, I went to summit this about 9 years ago with my buddy Ryan, who was also on this trip, and then my dad. And when we got up about halfway, there was massive snowpacks, and I remember sliding down on our butts in these little snow chutes on the way down that made it ridiculously memorable. But I remember going in to that one being so unprepared. Now that we have done Mount Whitney and what we 9 years ago set off with in terms of just basically a drawstring bag, some bananas, a little bit of like a bottle of water, we were so unbelievably underprepared. So just make sure that you train for these things, but even more so, you have to bring the nutrition, you have to bring the water, bring trekking poles, do it with a couple other people, and just always make sure that you look out for each other, because there's just crazy things that happen on mountains, especially at altitude, and sticking together is going to make it super memorable and also safe for everybody. So whoever is watching this video, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely put Mount Whitney on your bucket list, because it's been on mine for so long and it was totally worth it.